tonight, and it's Blue Squatch guy along with the Utica Yeti, Mr. Paul Necker.
How
We
you
are.
doing there, Yeti Nation? Yeti Nation.
I don't know if anybody's watching this, or maybe you'll get a couple guys to watch it tomorrow. But wow, what a game! Holy smokes! Watching that first PBLA game, what an exciting brand of lacrosse that was. I tell you, the beginning of the game, you could see everybody had some jitters. Everybody was a little amped up. The first probably 5 minutes or so, everybody kind of struggling a little bit, but then everybody really calmed down, and you saw what an amazing game. What was your impressions?
There clearly wasn't a lot of set offensive play that as far as until the very end, but it was all transition and not to say breakaway, but the I like the rule. I think that's that Sundown kid. Is that what it was for Syracuse there? The line dancer, man, he can tiptoe and dance and flip and put that back twister in.
How that was Skylar Thomas you're talking about, the kid from
Yeah,
Syracuse.
Thomas. That's the one I'm
Skylar
talking about.
Thomas. Now he played for, I believe, the Basin Bombers when we were in Laxdie because I
Yeah, that's
recognize
not.
the name. I know he's somebody who scored quite a few goals. That's definitely a name I've said several times. I feel like, and Steven Stamp obviously knew him, but I feel like Syracuse, kind of was one of those teams where Skylar Thomas was scoring, or they're they didn't quite have the same effect that the Jim Thorpe All Americans had, which was more of a team transition, fast goals. You don't really think of one guy who led the charge so much for that All Americans team scoring all the goals.
He definitely was their go-to man tonight. There's no question about that. As far as I seen a bunch of NABLL names, I heard a bunch of NABLL names. Pretty excited about that. Casey definitely was a man of notoriety. They definitely announced Casey Swamp several times. Pretty pumped about that. Dwighty Burrow I seen out on the floor quite a bit. Timmy Zamil was out there from the Eels that I had seen. I didn't see him. They didn't mention Donahue for the Riverhawks. I don't remember hearing his name being called.
I
It was
didn't.
called. It was called at the introductions of the game when they did all the team members, but I didn't hear him much play call on the field.
Lighten,
As far
no, not lighting the board up. I didn't hear his name called too much. I don't know. I really think, like you said, the biggest thing was the transition, and then who had the endurance to keep it going. I mean, that is a fast style of play, and trying to keep up with that. Wow, they definitely did not disappoint. I would say the PBLA delivered on their as advertised. I mean, it was a super exciting brand of lacrosse to watch. Honestly, the only hiccup really, I feel, what the stream dropped a bunch of times. That's probably to be expected. I'm guessing probably more viewers than maybe everybody was expecting was going to show up, and one little delayed sound effect. But other than that, I mean, it went really without a hitch. And camera guys, the
I thought,
replay guy did an amazing job. Whoever their replay guy was, I tell you, he was on point, getting everything to go smooth. That was nice.
yeah, it was nice. The commercials I thought were pretty good. Definitely get out there and purchase some tickets if you can. Uh, at least watch the commercial about buying tickets, and you might see something a little bit something like that there. Anyhow, but
The Bag Square jersey makes an appearance, and I tell you,
made an appearance on PBLA. Awesome.
that was a
Thank
nice
you.
shout out. I'd like to think they did that intentionally, making sure they threw some Bag Square love in there for the Utica Yeti, going out of their way and making sure that when they had the practices there and the scrimmages there, everything kind of went without a hitch, shot clocks and all that. I'm sure they that was a cool move on their part, though. I'm sure
That
that
was
was.
props to them. Hats off to them. That was nice. As far as the game was great. It was up and down. Exactly what me and you had said when we watched the two teams scrimmage. Fast paced, back and forth. You know, uh, got a little scuffle in there. We got some scuffling going. but it was all transition for the most part from what I watched. I think it was pretty cool.
The I think the huge difference was you heard Stamp talking about it at the beginning of the game. The Jim Thorpe team plays five lines, kind of like are sets of five. So they have like your
Yeah.
hockey lines where they go one through five. And Syracuse kind of does a different style with the offense defense, and you could kind of see it in some of the transitions. Syracuse kind of got caught out there a couple times. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the future if they're going to try to change their style or if maybe they do the same style and just clean it up a little bit in the bench because they've a ton of talent out there. Obviously, they need more than Skylar Thomas to show up, which they definitely had a lot of talent out there, but they need a couple more guys to get a couple more. And even Skylar Thomas's goals. That what about that penalty shot rule? How have we not
Ah,
talked about that yet? How cool was that? That was genius on their part. I mean, wow.
great move. Yeah, and you're able to split it up too. That's even a great idea. So now you're getting a penalty shot and also getting a man up play. I like it. That's definitely a cool add to the mix. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would say they delivered as advertised overall. I mean, the crowd was there. You could hear the crowd cheering. It was really cool to see. Steven Stamp on the call with Sully helping him out on the color. Production crew looks like, yeah, like I said, everybody did a great job. It was really
People
cool.
are great.
I having the two cameras, and you could tell again the PBLA spent some extra money on the production crew. Having the multiple cameras, it was a huge thing to be able to have the wide angle and the smooth angle. And like I said, the replay guy really nailed it with getting those in and timing them appropriately. So you kind of watched the play. The way he was sliding those in towards the end of the game, that was really smooth.
It is. It's like anything. Just like the game. Working the bugs out first time for everything. You gotta. I'm sure maybe they've done games before, but yeah, it was a good production. It was definitely a good production.
Now, even more exciting and unfortunately is not going to be live streamed tomorrow night, though, is the Bombers taking on the Renegades. And what a game that should be.
That's happy birthday to my mother-in-law. I wish I could be at the game, but family's coming first. As far as happy birthday to Patty, and I wish I could be at the game. It's going to be a great game. I watched those guys dance around on the in the game tonight. I can't wait to watch Ty Hill. I wish I could watch Ty Hill do some dancing because him and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Biggest thing is being clean off the bench, making sure you can stop that transition run. Maybe we're going to see a little different play from what we seen tonight.
You saw two really different styles going at it, and both styles had their advantages, and both styles had their moments where they really shined. And that I think is the most interesting part of this, and that's why I really wish we could stream more of the games because what you're going to see from all of these coaches. I mean, all of the coaches have been coaching box lacrosse, and they're top level coaches. The league's really lucky to have most of the guys, and really to see the game plans that they're going in because we've seen the Bombers. They've got a little bit different game plan than we saw from Syracuse. They've definitely got a different game plan than we saw from the All Americans, and it'd be interesting. I really wish I could see that Elmira team. I know a few of the players out there, and I've gotten to talk to a few of the guys, and that Elmira team seems super exciting too. And I mean, I got to be pulling for them a little bit. They got the Collar City guys, who my nephew's hoping to play for here in a couple of years. But
Nice.
that being said, we also got a Collar City guy on the Bombers joining the five or so Yeti that are making an appearance on the Bombers starting roster. And yeah, I'm super
It
excited.
was that was a great interview I had with Justin. I watched that today, and as far as I gave him a little shout out. Best of success for his upcoming season here, and I'm excited because we did get a chance to talk a little NABLL too. So the good things are happening, and I'm very excited about that. And with talking to him, and like I said, the interview you had with him was great. People, check out these interviews; they're awesome. Greg, you're doing a great job with the interviews. I love it. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. The one you had with Nate and the two coaches,
Yeah, and Travis
uh,
and wow, how
Travis,
about
and
how
that was
about those
awesome.
how about those two coaches coming in? I didn't know much about box lacrosse when I started this journey with you, and it's been quite a learning experience. And then Googling those two guys yesterday when I had a little bit of time, and then we actually did that interview this morning. And wow, two legends of the sport. I tell you, you've got your work cut out for you this year, Paul. Between
It's it's definitely you wonder what we're talking to Justin. Hopefully, all goes well, and they want to get into the upstate as well. So you're looking at five solid teams right off the bat. I know last year we was talking five solid teams with NABLL upstate, and it got down to three. But for the most part, at this part, I'm looking at five structured teams, five structured teams that are ready to duke it out for the trophy, man. That's
yeah,
what it's all about.
I
That's
think
what it's and listening to them, they got the same philosophies that we have with the Yeti. That's and also watching the game tonight. I'm watching that game and I'm like, I don't care what anybody. Obviously, they're pros, but I know for a fact that we are as a team not that far behind what they're putting on TV. Talent wise, coaching wise, production wise. I love what we got going with the Yeti, and you know what? They may have some incredible Hall of Fame coaches, and they do, but
but you're putting
we're,
Tony Sorcy
we
right up
do
against
exist.
every one of them. That's right.
Excellent. Yeah, you want to know what that's the awesome part about it. You want to what look what it's growing. The sport's growing. That's what's cool. That's what's cool. Justin McKinney's played for Tri City before, for Bang City. It's all a big brotherhood, and loving it,
That
loving it.
that's the
Beecher,
coolest
this is
part. And
awesome.
talking to him this morning, and like Nate said, none of this, it all started with you, and it's all about keeping the guys playing. And that NABLL, the PBLA is not going to be for everybody, but the NABLL is really the summer league that helps these guys play, and it also gives the other guys a chance to get back into it. And you see a lot of guys who have taken a lot of time off from the game, and their first step back into the game is the NABLL. And now look at, I mean, we've got almost a third of the players coming out of there. You really got to see some of that talent on the floor. And I mean, I expect nothing but great things out of this PBLA league after tonight. What is your what are you thinking tomorrow? How do you think that's going to play out? I know you haven't gotten to see anybody of the Elmira team, but
I
you
haven't seen anybody, but listening to you talk and talking to Justin and everything, they sound similar to Binghamton. I ain't gonna lie to you. Tranny with some D boys that can play offense.
it should be interesting. You got a lot of stud athletes. They have so the Voigt brothers, one of them's playing for Binghamton, one of them's playing for Elmira, and I tell you, I got to watch the one for Binghamton there. Wow, is he a stud? An
Yeah.
absolute stud. Then Ryan Hoteling for Binghamton. I haven't seen the Elmira team. I've heard people talk about them. I've heard a couple of the guys from the scrimmage and what happened out there. And I tell you what, that Bombers game, that really it could have been the game of the week for me, and it really is the game. I'm probably gonna drive out there in the morning, and we'll see what
Fish on.
happens. Yeah,
Fish on. We got a fish on. Oh,
after after that game, plus the PBLA was kind enough to reach out and told us that we could get some press passes to go kind of scope it
nice.
out, talk to the guys and get some interviews. Rodney Redeye is definitely going to be repping Blue
Hot
Squatch
Rod. Hot Rod will be
Productions,
in the house. Hot
and
Rod will be in the house.
his son Owen's going to be running the camera if I don't make it out there. But after watching that, I don't know. I'm going to be hard pressed not to drive out there tomorrow. It's yeah, I can't wait to see it. The talent, like I said, I'd like to see the Voigt brothers. I can't wait to see the way Hobart put his team together after doing some research on him and seeing, what he's done through his career and knowing Neil and doing the research on Neil as I got to know him, interviewing him a couple times, knowing what he's done in his career and knowing what these athletes have done. Wow.
Beecher, here's a question I got. And while you're doing your, you obviously do way more research than I do. But my question is, and I know that was one of the questions that you talked to Elmira coach there about was, logistics and everything. I wonder, obviously we both know that they've flown, each team's got a couple players that they're flying in from around and everything. But if we take a look at the Syracuse roster, the Elmira roster, the Binghamton roster, I'm curious to find out exactly how many kids are actually, not to say upstate, Albany from Albany to Buffalo. How many are actually of regional this area?
If
that would be cool to find out.
I'll have to, I'll start diving into it a little bit. If you extend it to Akwesasne and go
Well,
from,
even Aquasas,
and that's what,
as
if
far
you
as
go from
upstate,
if you go
that's
from
part of upstate.
Akwesasne, I bet you've got half of the players. If you go from Akwesasne down to Albany and then over west throughout the state, yeah,
Yeah,
there's a ton of regional talent.
it's a ton.
That's why all the teams are they've got those teams staggered there because there's talent from every one of these local teams for the most part. I mean, Elmira's got some guys that are very close distance to there. Binghamton, we've got a couple hometown guys. We've got a couple guys that we know from Onondaga that are a part of that. And I tell you what a showing it was in the first game. Onondaga Nation looking pretty strong out there with some of their athletes. And
Absolutely.
Onondaga, I think, is going to be well represented tomorrow. Obviously, pulling for them. No offense to the Elmira guys. I'd love to see you win as well, but they got a few more of my boys on. they,
People look out for them jerseys on the commercials. That's all I got to say.
absolutely. Huge thank you to the PBLA. Huge thank you to Bagg
PBLA, great
Square
job.
for those amazing
Thanks for
jerseys.
Brewery.
Bagg Square
I,
coming in the clutch. Crafty
they,
Beach is on
they
the bottom
did.
of the screen right now. Thank you very much, Crafty Beach. Mark Murphy Photography. We've got 4 by Hill always on the side, repping our man 4 by Hill with the sweet hoodies, sticks. The Black River Ale House. Thank you very much. Bagg Square, we just talked about you with the jerseys and everything. B Dry System. Got any water in your basement? Get a hold of B Dry. Believe 271. Nobody fights alone. CBI
Nobody fights
Cables.
for that.
That's why we sound better now. Deming Lakeside Trailer Park. Huge thanks to the Kiefer family and Eric Kiefer, friend of the Yeti. Family Landscaping. They are huge friends and supporters of the Yeti. Fay Farms, another one of those Binghamton guys. And
Bingo.
GKS Sales, George Kaler Sales. The NABLL, thank you very much for all that you do. Nora's Candy Shop, get the turkey joints. And Tri City Lacrosse, 40 years of Tri City. T Grade Tools, another huge supporter. Rome Sign, making all the signs for us and making us look good. And Bobby Dix, can't forget Robert A. Dix and Nice Scoba, the men in blue. Thank you. Clinton Tractor, Implement Co. And again, the Crafty Beach. Huge shout out. Support the sponsors when you get a chance. Thank you very much, Mr. Necker. And I will, if I don't make it out to the game, which will be a surprise to me, but if I don't, Rodney will keep us posted, and we will definitely get some videos from him. Thank you
So,
very much, Yeti Nation.
Yeti Nation, next Wednesday night. You never know what's going to be out there. We got some people that we're lining up. It's going to be good.
We got people.
Wait till we have the information of what happened this weekend. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you very much, everybody.